So connecting is the key, as we've talked about. When you first saw that video this morning, it talked about connecting with the child. And really, this is the basis of what I see ESDM is. It's building a connection and then building that connection into interactions. And so I get into my little cheesy, every relationship is built on a connection, but that's true. It can be with the child in your class, or it can be in your love life. But basically, with the children in your class, if you're not connected with them and know them and love them and know what gets them going and know what motivates them, how are you expecting to teach them? They don't really know you and you don't know them. And we have really great, we're very lucky here, our ratios are low at School of Imagination, so we have the opportunity. But I think that if you focus in on just spending a little time initially one-on-one with each child, it'll yield so much for you as a teacher, because they'll be interested in, and you'll get to know them, but they'll be interested in trying to please you, trying to work with you and play with you. So that connection built first will you'll be very successful teaching. So how do we do that? I call it getting face to face. So many times, you know, it's a really busy time in the classroom and things are going on, but the kids are talking to you and they're like talking up to you like this because they're so little. So they're looking at your kneecaps. So I'm always talking about getting down face to face with them. And it really is very effective, especially with children on the spectrum, because they are more object focused. They don't like faces as much. So when you're working with a child that's on the spectrum or has social communication challenges, it's super, super important that when you're talking to them, you're eye to eye with them. And that means either here, that means sitting them in the chair. I generally am in therapy, I'm sitting a child in a chair, and I'm like down here, like this, in their face, because they can't ignore me. It's true. I do that with some of my team members too. They freak out about it. But really, you see more, and you see responses, and then you can change your response to what they're doing and what they're saying. In circle time, it's so effective if you're down low and you're looking in their eyes, because if they start wandering off, you can be like, oh, hey, bring it back around here. And so you're training them to be better at that when you're getting them face to face. A lot of the kids are object focused, so they are much more interested, as we have some kids like this in our social skills, in like looking at the cards and things like that. What I do is I take that card and I put it up to my eye and make them look at me. Because it's hard for some of the kids to look you in the eye, but if you're taking what they're playing with and what they like, not in a mean way, but kind of just go, hey, look at this up here, and then you go, hey, friend, you know? They looked at you, you give them some kind of car or something like that while you have that moment, and it's really amazing what they'll go, whoa, where'd you come from? It's pretty startling sometimes. Definitely, as you're building the connection, you're seeing what motivates them. So if one of your friends in your class likes trains and the kiddo is not having a good time sitting in circle time, why wouldn't you grab a train and be like, okay, hold the train, or as soon as you're done you can take the train, or after you answer this question you can have the train. So whatever motivates them, it can be sensory like tickles motivate, or it can be objects. It's okay to use that, but you don't know that unless you get to know them. And then being positive and responsive and fun all the time. Like, I know it's hard. Believe me, I always say, we want it to be Disney World around here. I know that's difficult, but at least be positive and definitely be responsive. If they're putting something out there to you, you need to give something back to them. It makes them feel much better, and they're going to stop trying if you're not. So you know those parents you see that walk in here and they're like, hi, Johnny, and they're just kind of gloomy and droopy and stuff, and then the kid is that way too, and you're like, what's up with this kid? And then you look at the parent, you're like, oh, well, we need to change it up. You know, that they learn from their parents, they learn from the people around them. So we want to be the ones that are like, hey, and get them responding and interested. And so when you're doing this and when you're connecting, make sure you're looking at how they're responding to you so you can change your approach. So maybe they're overstimulated. So I do that to kids all the time. I don't mean to, but like I get in their face and I'm so excited and they're like, geez, Louise, lady, back off. And so I'm like, okay, this kiddo I have to take it a little easier with. So maybe I'll get in their face, but I'll use a soft voice. Or I won't clap really loud. I'll clap with my fingers, something like that. So make sure you're not like just giving all this stuff to them and not seeing how they're receiving it.